What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Well, this was inevitable. Today, Caitlyn Clark of the Iowa Hawkeyes passed Pistol Pete Maravich and broke his 54-year-old Division I NCAA scoring record. I'm reading from an article from MSN.com. In a season of milestones, Caitlyn Clark has reached one more. On senior day in Iowa's regular season finale versus Iowa State, Caitlyn Clark hit two free throws after a technical foul on the Buckeyes just before halftime to tie and then break Pistol Pete Maravich'S NCAA Division I record in front of a sold-out crowd at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Clark entered Sunday's game third on the NCAA scoring list behind Maravich and Antoine Davis. She surpassed both against the Buckeyes. Maravich's career scoring record included both men's and women's basketball. His talents took the world by storm when he played at LSU from 1967 to 1970, where he averaged an incredible 44.2 points per game en route to scoring 3,667 points in his career. Maravich achieved this feat before the addition of the three-point line back in 1986. Maravich's record had stood untouched for 54 years. Throughout her historic season, Clark has expressed gratitude to the incredible women before her who set the standard. On February 15th, Clark passed Kelsey Plum to break the NCAA Division I women's all-time scoring record at 3,527 points. She scored a career-high 49 points in the game to set a new Iowa women's single-game record. Then, when the Hawkeyes played Minnesota on February 28th, Clark broke Lynette Woodard's all-time women's college basketball scoring record at 3,649 points. Lynette Woodard was a basketball star at Kansas from 1977 to 81. She played in the pre-NCAA era, and her 3,649 total points scored was an Association for Intercollegiate Athletes for Women's record. Like Maravich, Woodard hit her impressive points milestone before the introduction of the three-point line. Several players outside the NCAA have scored more points than Clark, including Pearl Moore, 4,061, Grace Beyer, 3,874, Miriam Walker Samuels, 3,855, and Deb Remerb, 3,834. I think it also should be noted that in today's collegiate schedule, they play more games than what Pistol Pete was playing. And Pistol Pete did not play his first year in college because at that time there was a rule that prohibited freshman players from playing varsity. So keep that in perspective when you look at these records. There's some things that they like to keep out. So really, if Pete Maravich was able to play his freshman year, the record would be out of it would have been way out of reach for anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just say, look, congratulations. She's going to already have an instant fan base. It is what it is, I believe I read that she's already declared for the WNBA draft, so we'll have to wait to see how that plays out. But she's one of the great players. I think you could definitely say she's probably the greatest offensive women's basketball player we've seen in college. You can definitely make that case, perhaps. But to me, the most dominant female basketball player I've ever seen was Cheryl Miller. That's just my opinion. Cheryl Miller was an absolute beast. And Cheryl Miller is one of the few female players who I think could have actually played in the NBA. I'm not saying she would have been a GOAT, but I think she actually had the type of game where she could have played in the NBA. She was that dominant. But anyway, that's just my opinion at least. Tell me what you guys think.